Hello and welcome to the J&J podcast. Today we're trying to do this our proper way so we know what we're doing. And today we will start with some Skid Row. So currently, if anyone's reading about anything of Skid Row right now, they would know that Lizzie Hale is covering their front person for the next couple shows due to I can't remember his name, but he had to step out due to personal health reasons. Jimmy, you remember his name? What's his name?
Eric Romo.
Right. So Eric Roma had to step down for personal reasons, which you can't argue that.
The illness is what it is.
Yeah. So hopefully everything goes well for him and he gets better. But Lizzie Hale had to step in to cover a couple shows. And apparently Sebastian Bach decided, hey, you know what would be a good idea? How about I join the band again?
Yeah, it's not happening.
So I'm not that familiar with the background of that one. Would you be able to summarize what initially we assumed happened that we could tell from media coverage why Sebastian Bach was no longer with Skid Row?
Yeah, because they stopped getting along and everybody in the band doesn't like Sebastian Bach.
So with that, some magical reason, Sebastian Bach thinks if he writes this perfect email, as he's mentioned on SiriusXM, he would be able to convince everyone that it'll be all nice and happy for everyone to be back together.
No, only him. He'd be the only one that's happy about it. And only for a while. Because the general consensus and everything that's in the press and all that stuff, because they've been feuding, publicly for quite some time now. It's not happening. And let's be honest, he's old now. Well, I don't know that he can still sing the way he used to.
Well, they're all old now.
So that's what it is.
He was also saying, give the fans what they want. They want the original lineup back.
That's true. I am in that category on both counts. However, I understand that not liking people is a major part to play in. Are you going to go on tour with a guy?
Yeah, if you think about it realistically, even if they did like a one-off show, unless it's something that's being recorded, if they're just doing one-off show, say they do a one show in Vegas or just some strange reason, if they don't get along, it's not going to be that good of a show.
Listen, the only thing I can see in that respect is if people actually remember what happened with David Lee Roth reuniting, quote unquote, with Van Halen, that never happened. That's the most I can see happen.
Yeah, because most of the band was still there. They had to replace a few people, like the bassist.
That would be Rachel Bolan. Yeah.
For Van Halen, it wasn't the greatest with David Lee Roth back in the front. He, for some reason, thinks he's still like 20 years old, and he is far from
not. It. Yeah, he's not.
Yeah. So I heard he was trying to do the same stuff he was doing way back in the day.
He was trying.
Shows, but unfortunately.
Yeah, it was the Skid Row thing. It's like he booked a show apparently. So this is all like I don't know for a fact because I don't actually know any of them. It's not like I'm friends with the guys, But it was in the 90s, and he booked a thing to be an opening act with Kiss, but the band didn't know about it. He was the only one that knew about it, and the band was like, "Yeah, we're not doing it."
Yeah. Well, I think it was right after they just finished like this huge world tour. Like there were 3 albums into it by now.
Yeah,
0 break.
Yeah, so they really didn't like each other. But as far as I know, I might be misremembering this, but I'm pretty sure he just got another band and went and did the gig anyway. He was on the opening act for Kiss. And the rest of the band was like, yeah, okay, you have fun. Bye-bye. But this is all just stuff that I've read and, But I do get the impression that they really don't like each other. And could even, I think it even comes down to Rachel Bolan
Mhm.
and Sebastian Bach really don't like each other. So, yeah, it's not happening. There's never ever going to be a reunion. At this point, I would, as much as I would like the original lineup, at this point, I just hope that Eric Cromwell can get healthy and that can be the reunion because that would be just as big for me because
Mhm.
he's amazing. So that's kind of where I am on that.
Yeah. Well,
And listen, I'll say this about Sebastian Bach. I don't know the man personally. That man did the best rendition of my national anthem that I ever heard in my life. That's all it is.
I don't think he can hit the same notes now.
No, it's like I've been looking for footage for it, but it was in like 19 mid 90s
Yeah.
in the Memorial Cup, and he just did it, and it was the best. It was the best. I never got more amped up for a hockey game, and all he did was sing the national anthem. Like it was unbelievable. But you know,
Yeah. Well, that and he has his own solo career now. I haven't listened to it yet, but he did just release something. I think last month for new content.
I will have to look.
I have no idea what it's going to sound like. I don't know if it's going to be his own thing or if it's going to sound like parts of Skid Row did at one point, or I have no idea.
I like the old stuff, and I don't know. My direction I'm going in my music is far from what it was. So I don't know.
Well,
Maybe I'll
maybe
check
I'll.
it out. Maybe I won't.
Yeah, it might be on the. At least say you could hear it. But also talking about Sebastian Bach, apparently, he tends to run his mouth at times, and apparently he started a feud with Chris Jericho back in 2020.
I remember hearing a little bit about that, but whatever. Why?
So
Why?
apparently back then, let's see if I can. It started out that he was accusing Chris Jericho, the singer of Fozzy, about calling him out, saying he was lip syncing at shows and not actually singing the songs.
Except he doesn't.
So apparently, this whole thing took place on Twitter. So Jericho eventually responded online, saying that he likes Bach as a singer and as a friend, but it also continued to call him out, saying he would challenge Sebastian Bach to a sing-off. So apparently, it started to fade away from public life, but Bach's latest comments might be able to bring it back, as he was ever asked if he would do a sing-off with Chris Jericho, and he responded, "The better question would be, will he do a wrestle-off with Sebastian Bach? Because I'm as much of a wrestler as he is a singer."
That would be a mistake, and that would turn real very quickly, I feel.
Oh, even if you realize that some of the wrestling is staged and all that, but
Shit
they're
still hurts,
trained.
man.
They know what they're doing. They've gone through all the training to do all the moves and to do your tumbles and falls and everything.
Yeah, and it's not like he's new. He's been at it a long time. So,
Yeah.
listen, there's one thing. It's if you want to go for Chris Jericho, you better come fully loaded. And yours better be bigger than his. Because, yeah, no.
And I believe he's already done a sing off in the past, but I think it was with another wrestler.
You know what it might be? I think it might be Sebastian Bach had nothing to do with the song Judas. Because that's a great song. And I think he might just be mad he had nothing to do with it.
Anything that keeps him in the limelight, I guess.
Because it seems like that every issue regarding Sebastian Bach all has something to do with his ego.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know.
But they could put a spin on it and do. They could actually work together and do a sing off for it. but they could probably publicize it right that he would get what he wants back in the attention, but you'd have to find that right spot to market it.
Yeah, but that would be to people like us.
Well, in the past they did it, and I believe it ended up putting Chris Jericho in the limelight for Fozzy. Because I think there was another wrestler who challenged him to like some rap off thing back in
John
the
Cena.
past. Yeah, so he did that, and apparently it was supposed to be like quite.
You lost my interest at Rap Off. I don't know.
Well, I haven't looked it up yet because no, I'd rather see Chris Jericho singing, but
Yeah, me too.
I thought that was kind of comical.
Yeah, yeah. I just feel like if you're going for Jericho, you better go loaded.
Yeah, well, he's got a few other spots he's ran. Sebastian Box run his mouth off, but that's the only one I found that was interesting at this time.
Well, Jericho doesn't get enough credit for being as smart as he is. So, I mean, that's a mistake going for him, especially when it's empty threats. So, like you're just helping him. So just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Again, it seems like it's just his ego. So
yeah,
which is unfortunate because I loved him. I am a huge fan of his whole family, but he seems to be the only one that
he has his bad moments.
Yeah,
he has his good moments, but he has his bad moments too, and everybody hears about his bad moments.
Yeah, he seems to be. Listen, I saw him on what the hell was it? I think he did a Cribs episode or whatever the hell that show was.
He's done a reality show where they ended up making a super group and Ted Nugent and stuff like that.
I know that I'm very envious of his comic book collection.
Yeah, I think I heard about that one.
Yeah, he has some great comics, but again, it's just like it's not even saying he's a bad guy because he's probably not. He's probably a really nice guy, but it seems like his ego always gets in the way.
No filter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have. You can have no filter and not have an ego.
Yeah. Well, hopefully his solo career does quite well for him.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't want him to just fall off the face of the earth.
Yeah. Although he could do a couple more little cameo bits in acting too. Some of the parts he didn't play himself, but he was kind of comical.
Yeah, like that. What the hell was that one show he did it? Oh, what the hell? That girl show.
Gilmore Girls?
Yeah, that's the one. He was in that. And it was funny.
Playing a singer.
Yeah, it was funny, though.
They made him sing, My Humps or something like that. Popular songs of back in the day. Yeah.
When I heard he was on that show, that got my interest, and then I at least watched the show for a couple of times.
Yeah, just see the bits he's in, and
yeah,
it was good for a laugh. He did well for that.
He's a good actor. Wow.
Okay, and on a lighter note for you.
Oh.
Let's see if I can find it again. Just for you. Apparently, recently, all four members of ABBA reunited to be knighted at a royal ceremony in Sweden.
And rightfully fucking so.
Yeah. So, they haven't been together since they recorded their last album, I think it was in 21 or something like that. And, well, they have their past of we're going their own separate ways. But they all got back together to be knighted.
Did they?
Yeah, they've all been knighted. I'm just trying to find out what they were knighted as.
Sorry, you know damn well I'm looking this up right now.
Yeah. They received the Royal Order of Vasa, V-A-S-A, establishing them as commanders of the first class for very outstanding efforts in Sweden and international music life.
It was in 2022.
This article was released June 1st, 24.
Lost you. You cut out.
Yeah. This article was released yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah, it was 2022.
No, it was dormant for a half century until granted them citizens. That knighthood was granted to the ordinary Swedish citizens in 2022. ABBA's Uh, ABBA members were among the crop of 13 being celebrated on Friday, the first received since the process was reopened 2 years ago. So yeah, no. Last year,
I don't actually know if they should reunite.
no, they said no, it's not happening. They did do this Voyage reunion thing, but it is a digital thing, a digital performance you can see at one arena that they've custom built for this show.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at now.
Yeah. So two of them ended up going to one show of that, and they did a Q&A session with the audience of like 3,000 people.
So that was the guy.
No, they even said, yeah, never say never, but no, it's a hard no right now for them to get back together. Like, they are getting kind of up there, and they deserve to just be happy with whatever they're doing.
Well, listen, it's like this. It's one of those things where, unfortunately, I'm old.
Yeah.
And when I'm old, they're surely old. Because their age is considerably higher than mine. So
yes, and their amicable breakup was like all four of them like, yeah, no, fuck off, and they went and did their own thing. Then they had, I think, 2 times they got back together since then. One for the Voyage thing, and then they did another collab when they all got back together and did a YouTube channel. They did a video of a bunch of spots of their songs, and the video was good for a laugh. And you can tell they had fun doing that, but they're not. Don't expect to see them touring anytime soon.
You know, I'm singing in my head now, right? I'm trying not to, but I totally am.
I figured that would be happening. But I thought you might like that one. That they all 4 of them got knighted.
That well deserved. Yeah. Well deserved. From an outsider looking in, and not somebody that has ever lived or been to Sweden, those 4 people brought more awareness to Sweden than anyone ever could have. Like, look what followed them. Roxette came after them too. But we won't get into my love for the 80s. We'll stay.
I'll save that for another episode.
Yeah, we'll save that for now.
All right, that's all I got for today so far. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks for listening. And
hey, you know what? It makes me happy when people actually get the recognition they deserve. Unlike a certain British heavy metal act that doesn't get enough credit for anything ever, and it's a complete sham. But this is deserved, because honest to God, I think they've done more for Sweden than anything else. It brought more awareness to that country than I think anyone ever could have. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like, come see us. It wasn't, but it was, at the time, it was, I mean, I was a kid, right? So I didn't know. You don't even realize there's another country somewhere else, right? But they were like, what's Sweden? Where's that? Like, they deserve to be knighted in Sweden for sure.
It just took a long time. Well, I guess for like 50 years that knighting wasn't even available to common people, so maybe they would have got it sooner if they opened it up sooner.
Yeah, maybe. Why do you do this? You're letting people know that I like ABBA.
Bring out all those little tidbits from you.
Not that I'm ashamed of. They're amazing. I love it. Like, Waterloo's one of the best songs I've ever heard. I love it.
All that, and we're about all sorts of music, not just metal, but we're not covering certain aspects of music.
Well, I mean, it's not. It's mostly metal. Let's be real.
Yes, it is mostly metal.
Because I mean, a lot of that might just be stubborn, and I don't want to listen to stuff. Like, if it doesn't click in my head right away, it's gone, and it just
we stick to what we like. But I'll bring in a few oddballs every now and then for you.
Well, you couldn't have picked it. There's not a bigger oddball than here, heavy metal ABBA.
Well, thanks for listening, and we'll talk to everyone again next time. Make sure to subscribe, like us, and we'll talk then.